Guys, it's Jake at Team Rebirth, coming at you with a deck profile in online testing along with in person. Deck has been performing really well. Just got back a teammate of mine from the Luxury Gaming win a case or a case tournament there, in which he was able to take top four. Um, Unfortunately, he couldn't be on the video today, but going over the deck that we've built. Um, Starting off, we got three Chernobog's followers, three Olaf, and three Rafiki for your one drops. I think this format is um, definitely dependent on your curve, especially with aggro being a thing. You have to be able to combat it by being able to match it. For two drops, Madame M Snakes and Lumiere. Lumiere being the MVP overall, just not only in the aggro matchup, but also in the mirrors. Against red blue, makes Shizu a little bit harder to use. Brawl, most targets require the brawl being used on Lumiere after turn two. Three drops of the three drop Shizu, Madame M Fox, three Crab, three Brawl, three Library, and four Friends. With the library being the addition from set 5, it has been a great help, not only with Chernobog followers, but being able to set up for a turn 7 be prepared into the mirror, along with just being able to make positive trades, again, utilizing Lumiere in a more appropriate fashion. Merlin Crab has been a great add-in. I know a lot of people were off of Crab last set, being that locations are high again, and then obviously the aggro matches. I think it's appropriate to have those. I am only playing the 3 Brawl because I think that spending your whole turn 3 being able to counter aggro just avoids the inevitable, in which I'd rather be playing characters, but Brawl is still necessary for Hieroms and stuff like that. Drops, playing 2 Bee King, 4 Merlin Goat, 4 Merlin Rabbit, and 2 Castle. With the addition of library, I've dropped Castle down to 2. There is some merit to up either one of those, but I believe a 2-2 split is accurate for the current unknown in the blind matchups. I still like 2 Bee Kings because as we're pushing into aggro, the one thing we can't combat right now in the early game is unexerted characters. Obviously, we could be playing the 2-drop Pinocchio, but I want to keep the uninkables down, in which being able to just trade positively into all your opponent's characters, and then being able to be king or even sing it, depending on where you're at in the game. 5 drops, 4 Maui, and 2 Elsa. Elsa's been a great addition. I'd like to find room to fit one more in here. Again, it definitely helps with the aggro matchup. It also helps into green when they're still on Diablo, when you don't have the brawl. And then also in the mirror. This makes it to where your opponent needs to either have the brawl, but when you're playing Lumiere, it makes it a little bit easier to avoid that, which then it requires some other kind of forced removal. 6 drops, playing 2 Lady Tremaine and 2 Medusa. These are just a preference of mine. I think while aggro is prevalent, into a red-blue matchup or a blue-steel, Lady Tremaine is still useful into the ward. So I do still like the 2-2 split. It does still come up to where you shift Tremaine and bounce to be able to just sit there and play the control game. And then to finish it off, I am on 3 Be Prepared. I know some people like 4. I don't think in this meta it's needed. If you end up with it in your early game against aggro, you likely won't even get there to be able to play it in an effective manner. and then even then you'll have just as many characters as the aggro player, so it's not worth playing it. Overall, I think the deck is super consistent. Obviously, the most important thing is your curve. Um, None of the matchups feel bad. Aggro is more so luck of the draw if they're on the actions that give them 2 lore at a time, lose things that we can't just get around. Um, I know that a lot of people are trying out elephant or teeth. Nothing against it, just primarily the elephant being a bounce. I think it hurts you against your aggro matchup more than it helps. And then against Steel Song, I think it's too little, too late in most cases. I know a lot of people are also playing Cusco, the 2-drop. I think that's just a little bit more greedy on the draw. I know a lot of people are doing it with library to maximize on 2 or 3 draws at a time. And then pairing it with teeth, obviously, it helps with the aggro, but um, in any other case outside of aggro, Cusco doesn't seem as great to just give up your tempo. I know a lot of people are also trying out the on-cost cogs that gives rush on play. Um, I I understand its use into aggro, but again, I think you lose a little bit of tempo doing so. I think the best play I've seen using cogs and trying him out is just being able to utilize your Merlin Crab on turn 4 to give him rush and make him a 6/3. But yeah, that's the deck profile. I I hope to continue working on this with some like-minded gamers and see what we can do before heading into Vegas. Currently, this is where I think it needs to be. Again, the only addition would be maybe adding another Elsa. Um, Otherwise, I think the uninkable ratio is right. Yeah,